Hi, everyone. I can see you coming in from the waiting room. Thanks so much for being on time. We'll get started in just a couple seconds. Okay, we'll get going now. Thank you guys so much for being here with us this afternoon. My name is Anna Tazin. I'm the Chief Revenue and Innovation Officer for the Texas Restaurant Association. And we have a very exciting, I promise, it's a very exciting webinar on restaurant gift cards today. I know sometimes that topic can be a little dry, no offense to the panelists that we have today, but it can be a little cumbersome sometimes to dig into the nitty gritty and understand sort of how gift cards work. And there's so many different options out there, from virtual gift cards to physical gift cards. We thought we'd put together some content for you to sort of dispel any concerns you might have. And of course, because we have Heartland as a partner, we've asked two people from Heartland to be with us today to go over their gift card program and how that works. And then I'm really, really excited to have with us Lynn Sadik as well from Landry's. He is the king and guru of all things restaurant gift card. No pressure, sir. But his history is really fantastic. And I think he's got a lot of wisdom to impart with us today. So before we jump into questions, I thought we'd get started with some introductions. And Hopie, let's start with you.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Anna. Happy to be here today. Just a quick introduction. So my name is Hopie White. I'm one of the people who work for Heartland on our customer engagement team. So customer engagement has everything to do with our value-added solutions, such as our gift card program, rewards programs, as well as our newer product analytics. So essentially what my role is to work with people like Scott, who will be introduced here shortly, who is a sales rep. I kind of get them trained up on all the products, make sure they understand how to sell it. And I also I work with merchants and clients as well. So anything gift card, rewards, and analytics, I'm your guy. Looking forward to speaking with you all today.
Great, thanks, Hopie. Scott, you want to go next?
Sure. My name's Scott Smith. I'm a division manager for Heartland for the South Texas, Central Texas area. I've been in the industry for 20 years. I spent 17 years at WorldPay, and I've been with Heartland for about going on 4 years, actually. So coming up on 21 years in the industry.
That's certainly nothing to shake a stick at, Scott. Thank you so much for your loyalty and for being with us today. And Lynn, let's kick it over to you. Would you do an intro for us?
Glad to be here today. So my name's Lynn Sadik. I am Director of Gift Cards for Landry's Incorporated. And we are dining, hospitality, entertainment, and I manage our gift card program across all of our 600 or so properties. I've been in the gift card industry for maybe 15 or 20 years. I'm also involved as the president of the Incentive Marketing Association, which is a group of incentive solution providers and incentive industry products. So I do that as a volunteer side of the business, and happy to be here today.
Thanks, Lynn. That's great. Incentive Marketing Institute actually has our association. Association. There we go. They have some really great education on their website too. So I put it in the chat box, which is, I don't know which side it is for me, but it's in there. So definitely take a look there. If you have questions while we're going through this webinar, be sure to ask them in the Q&A window or in the chat box. I'm also watching the Facebook live stream too. So if you have questions over there, I'll look in all these different places. Okay, so first, as sort of an icebreaker question, Lynn, I'm going to start with you. Your favorite gift card to give, and remember, it doesn't have to be restaurant gift card, although you might be partial, of course. But what is your favorite gift card to give, especially during the holiday season?
Of course, I would say restaurant first, but I'd say during the holiday season, probably two different gift cards. Starbucks seems like everybody loves Starbucks and loves to get some coffee, and it's kind of a treat. And then I would say the other one is the Amazon gift card because it's easy to use. So those are my two go-tos besides restaurant.
Perfect. Perfect. Scott, what about you? What kind of gift card do you like to give?
Anything golf related, to be honest. But I do like to give a local restaurant here, which is Jardine Del Rey and Jardine Corona, in the Cedar Park, Leander area.
Fun. I haven't checked them out yet. I mean, I'm down in South Austin, so I'll definitely have to go check them out at some point. Hopie, what about you? Favorite gift card to give out?
That's a good question. Probably besides restaurant, probably have to go with like a Best Buy. You know, everyone wants the newest device, a TV or something, or a video game. At least the friends that I have, friends and family, they really like that Best Buy gift card. So Best Buy or Target, I'd say.
Yeah, those are definitely good ones. Those are fantastic. I definitely like to give restaurant gift cards myself. I think right now, I didn't ask this, but Lowe's gift cards are also really valuable to me right now. I just bought a house, so like Lowe's gift cards are where it's at. Okay, so let's jump right into some of the topics today. I do have a presentation, but really you're going to get most of the information by just listening to what these experts have to say. So let's go first and talk about platforms. So what kind of gift card platforms exist out there and how do you evaluate? So Lynn, I'll turn this to you first, and then Hopie, obviously you can talk from your perspective as well.
Sure, thanks. So there's various platforms as far as processors. We use a specific processor, but you know, there's many very good ones out there. You know, I think what we look at is, you know, the type of fulfillment they can provide, you know, what's their customer support, because we rely on our platforms to help us in terms of, you know, technology and taking care of our guests. Do they handle online and physical type of priorities? Do they support the POS system? Is it easy to integrate with them? That's very important. And probably another one is just how they do with managing promotions, because gift cards now are not just gift cards, they're really branded currency that does a lot of different things. So we always look at, you know, can these various platforms help us in all of those areas?
Perfect. Hopie, what do you sort of advise people whenever you're talking to them? And I know, Scott, you interface with a lot of restaurants out there as well. So what do you guys think about platforms and how to evaluate the right one?
Absolutely. So it all depends on what they're looking for. I can really only speak to one platform for Heartland, but I know that there are several out there. But again, it just depends on what they're looking for. If the merchant's looking for a universal program, this is where we always recommend our type of company, because they would have their gift cards, their virtual gift card program, email marketing, which is connected to our awards program. It's all connected to each other. So it really gives our customers the ability to stay connected with their customers, to keep those customers coming back. But again, it really does depend on what their specific client is looking for as far as how they want to do their pay structure. Some gift card, you know, programs have monthly fees and gift card swiping fees. You know, with our type of company, we only do one of those. So just we try to keep things simple and keep it as easy as possible for our clients at least.
So it sounds like you both are talking about sort of the same thing. Integration is really key when it comes to evaluating for a really good gift card program. Yeah, you want things to be speaking to each other and be able to track that. I know there are some standalone platforms out there too. I'm not quite sure what the advantages are there. I'm sure they are there. They must exist somewhere. But Scott, do you have any thoughts on how to evaluate for platform? I know like Hopie would certainly advise going with Heartland, but any other thoughts?
Yeah, I think the platform will pretty much every processor or major processor out there has their own gift card platform. But then you have third-party vendors, for example, Value Tech, that integrates with multiple processors. Kind of what Hopie was saying, you know, what are you looking for and what products, what services do you want out of your gift card program? Again, if you're currently processing with a direct processor, they can supply those needs.
Okay, so then let's talk about the different types of cards, right? So I know that there's virtual cards versus physical cards. Sometimes, especially now, whenever you're trying to support local restaurants around the state, you may want to buy gift cards for, I'm in Austin, but I might want to buy gift cards in Dallas and Houston. And there's often the option to like buy online and a physical card is sent to the recipient, but then there's also a virtual gift card. So what is sort of the difference between the virtual gift card and physical, other than, one is physical and one is virtual? What are sort of the expenses involved in that and the marketability? Lynn, you want to start with that one?
Yeah, so we do offer both the physical and the virtual e-cards. E-cards continue to grow in terms of both acceptance and use. And in the current environment where people are looking for access to a gift card, the easiest way, maybe not even having to leave their home to purchase your gift card, we're seeing an increase in e-gift cards. So it's really accelerated since the whole COVID thing, where people can still send their e-card across the country. But physical cards are still popular. We're seeing in our world here, physical cards are still a pretty strong percentage. Because if somebody is looking for gifting, a lot of times they do want that physical card that they can either present to somebody or send to them, and you can have a nice holder with it, which we do. And so there's some benefits to both. E-cards are instant. So the closer we're going to get to holiday now, e-cards are just going to climb dramatically. So we're going to see every day now e-cards climb faster than physical. So you want to be, looking at taking care of both of those options. And frankly, e-cards have come a long way. The third party we use, we customize our e-cards. So if you want to put your business logo on there, if you want to put a message on there, we do that as well. So even e-cards now have become kind of more personalized than they have been in the past.
Kind of a curious question for you on this, Lynn, too. So e-cards, I know that, okay, so I actually just happen to have a pile of gift cards in my desk drawer right here. So it's very easy for me to go back and find the ones that I'm looking for, right? But for e-cards, it's kind of difficult because you don't really have like an electronic wallet for the consumer, right? So how do they keep track of their e-gift cards? Are there any ideas there?
Yeah, actually, Anna, the e-cards are actually, for us, taking care of our guests.
Yeah.
E-cards are easier for us to track than the physical cards, because with an e-card, we always have a name and an email. Mm-hmm. And we will have people call that bought their e-card 2 years ago and they can't find it. And we can go into the system, pull up that e-card by their name or email, resend it to them.
That's amazing.
So actually e-cards have become, for us in the, in the restaurant business, we like e-cards better because we can help people and know what their purchase has been and take care of a lost card, or they're not sure, how much the balance is on there. We can look all that up.
That's really fantastic. Great. So what, you forgive me if you said this, I don't think you told me the breakdown. Did you describe the breakdown between physical card and e-card of where you guys are at right now?
Yeah, we're about 25% e-card in terms of total volume and 75% physical. But when I give you that percentage, I'm not just talking about purchases online. I'm talking about cards bought in the third-party gift card malls. It's all of the larger bulk cards that we sell to businesses. So that's where the mix ends up. But if you look at probably just the consumer that's buying one card, it's probably more now 60 plastic, 40 e-card in our world.
Interesting. Okay. And we did have a question come in for you, Lynn, that I wanted to ask. We're backtracking a little bit, but which platform does Landry use for their gift cards?
In terms of our processor, Fiserv is our processor.
Okay. Still much love for Heartland, promise.
No problem.
Thanks, Scott. Okay, great. So what about, Hopie, from your perspective, whenever you're working on customer success and they're talking to you about physical gift card versus electronic gift card, what kind of features do you talk about with them so that they know kind of the pros and cons?
Absolutely. So just kind of piggybacking off what Lynn mentioned already, very similar programs in regards to what they can do. But in regards to what's happening right now, this is something that's been a huge selling point for virtual gift is COVID-19. We're living in a very unpredictable time, and having a virtual gift card program can really set restaurants apart from other merchants who don't. Because by having that virtual gift card program, now you're allowing customers to go in and still purchase a card. With the physical card, you actually have to go in and purchase that card. But if they can do it online, we put it on their website, allows their customers to purchase that virtual card. Now they can use that virtual card to make a purchase online. So now they're completely having to avoid going into the location by still being able to buy and make purchases at that location. So just being able to keep that restaurant afloat. So that's what we've seen, a huge increase of our existing gift card merchants who never really had a virtual gift program. So those have all increased. We have a lot of those existing clients reaching out for virtual gift card programs strictly for that reason.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so let's get into some of the terms and definitions on this, because I know for me, I learned a lot whenever we did a pre-call a couple weeks ago to understand this. So Scott, I hope you are ready with these answers. He's like, what? Tell me a little bit about a promotional or reward gift card versus a true gift card. Scott, do you want to take that, or you want Lynn to take that?
I think I'll let Lynn take that because it's
Sure.
more of a legal question, and I don't want to pretend that I know the law. So.
No, that's totally fair. So promotional reward gift card versus a true gift card, Lynn.
Yeah, sure. I'll be glad to take that. So we all kind of know what a gift card is. There's anything that's called a gift card that somebody purchases has to be redeemed as a gift card, basically like cash. You can't have a expiration date on it. You can't have restrictions like one-time use. So we market it as when people, we talk to people about buying the gift card, we basically say it's just like cash. The promotional cards, which have a great place, and many of us in the restaurant do promotions with, buy a gift card, get a promotional card. And we always want to be careful to differentiate, be real clear with our terms and conditions for the guests so that they know they're really two different things. A promotional card, we may not, accept those till, for instance, we're running a promotion now. And I know probably a lot of folks on here are as well. And, with a promotional card, you can say that you get it now for buying a gift card, but you can't use it till January 1 in our case. And again, that's very similar to, I know a lot of people out there that run that. So it kind of gives you two opportunities. A gift card can be gifted, obviously. You wouldn't want to gift a promotional card. You don't want to gift it to somebody and they find out they can only use it with a minimum purchase. So I would just encourage all of us to be very clear that, the gift card is kind of the giftable cash, easy to use card. And the promotional card is really what it is. It's a promotion that's an added value when you buy your gift card.
That seems pretty logical, Lynn. Thank you. I know we're going to get into some more questions around marketing and how to talk about those promotions in a little bit, but we wanted to go through a few more of the questions around rules and regulations around gift cards. So Hopie, maybe you can help us out with this one on the kinds of fees involved. You mentioned before, there might be some swipe fees related to gift cards too. What kind of fees can people expect to see when they're rolling out a gift card program?
Absolutely. So depending on the process that they go with, it could just be they're going to get charged maybe a certain percentage per swipe. That's usually a standard fee and a monthly fee. So usually they're just paying, whatever, there's $50 a month or something like that, plus their swiping fees. And the cost of their cards. So yeah, so initially the cost of the cards, depending on the quantity they want to buy, the cost per swipe, and then their monthly fee. But when it comes to Heartland, all we have is a simple monthly fee, plus the cost of their cards, to keep it simple. So that's usually the only fees associated with the program.
How much do the cards cost typically?
Well,
it depends. Go ahead.
I'll answer that since I'm on the sales side. But typically an initial investment, you can get as little as 100 cards. And on average, we can say they're $1 a card. That would be a fair estimate between all the different platforms. As you go up in the volume, those card prices can get down to about 30 cents a card. So if you needed 10,000 cards, it may even be less than 30 cents. So initial cost is going to be somewhere between 30 cents and $1 per card.
That's not bad. And then who designs the gift cards? How does that work? Because I mean, there's some pretty colorful ones that I have in my wallet down here. Who does that design work?
We have
Good
some.
question. So there's a couple of options depending. Oh, go ahead, Scott.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say it depends on who the processor is again. But when it comes to how Heartland does it, we have a standard card option. So we would provide the client with the catalog where they would choose their font, background color, and they would put their business name on that card. But if they have something specific, like some artwork or a logo that they want to put on the card, as long as they provide us with the original image, we can take care of that for them. So we can do custom card artwork. It's usually the processor that does it, that takes care of that artwork for them.
Okay, good to know.
They just have to provide the artwork.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
This is all really simple.
It is, but it's stuff that you don't really think about, right? Like there's some pretty ugly gift cards
Right.
out there, so pretty boring. So Scott, let me ask you this question. Okay, what is breakage? I hear breakage all the time whenever we talk about gift cards, but what does that mean?
And I'm going to preface this again by saying I'm not a lawyer,
It's okay.
but breakage is typically the amount or the value that never gets redeemed. So if you sell $10,000 worth of gift cards, the national average is somewhere between 5% and 10% of that will actually never come back into your store. When you get into a gift card program, your whole intent is to increase foot traffic into your door. But the breakage is really just, if you want to talk about return on investment, and I'll just give you an example. Custom cards, the minimum order is $500. Let's just say they're $1 a card. So that's $500. If you bought 500 cards and you could load them up to $500, you've got $250,000 of potential income into your business. 10% of that may never get used. So that's $25,000 that you've set aside into an interest-bearing account that will never get used. So breakage in the short term is the amount of cards that never get redeemed.
Okay, so breakage is a good thing, sort of.
Sure.
Yeah, I would assume.
I would say it is, because if you're worried about the cost of your program, the breakage is going to pay for it.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so when you're talking to maybe a potential platform, you can ask, what does the breakage look like typically, and what happens? Like, I mean, we talked before about where does the money from the sale of gift cards go? And Lynn, maybe Scott, I know you had an opinion on what should happen with those funds, and Lynn, maybe you can talk a little bit about what Landry's does too.
Yeah, sure. So just to go back to breakage for a minute,
Yeah.
Perspective, and this has been kind of, I've always looked at it this way in my various roles in gift cards. As Scott said, breakage it kind of, helps cover some of the costs and so forth, but we always create programs to try to get as much redeemed as possible, because as was also mentioned, we want to get people, in to dine with us and experience, what we have and come back. So it's a great item for getting new customers. So we don't encourage programs to generate breakage. In other words, that, at least from my perspective. But it is a fact. There is breakage. There always will be, and it does, help a little bit on the program. Your other question was, go back
Sure.
to that.
Well, we have another question from Shane actually in the chat asking if 10% breakage is realistic. Do you see that typically, or is it? I mean, Scott said it's anywhere from 5 to 10%.
That's what we find.
Yeah.
We're right in that ballpark with what Scott said as well. And I've even heard, across the industry, that's a good number that I've heard and that we look at.
So let me ask you this question, because it's kind of a two-parter, Lynn. So I'll say it again: is when guests purchase gift cards, where should that money go and sit in the restaurant's accounting? And then do gift cards, traditional gift cards don't expire, right? So how long does it sit in that account? Forever?
So I can answer your first part. Second part, I'm going to kind of disclaim I'm not an expert on
Thank
it.
you.
But it goes into a liability account because those are outstanding dollars out there basically owed to the consumers. So you want to have those monies set aside because at some point when they come back to claim them, you want to have enough funds so that you accounted for that and you don't have a hit that you didn't plan on. So depending on your sales, you have all of those dollars put aside in the liability account because basically, again, it is owed to those individuals. There's various regulations on in terms of when you can claim those unused funds as income. I'm not an expert on that. It is a number of years. I will say that you can't claim it all in 1 year, but there are some accounting regulations that require you to only take a certain percentage per year as income for that breakage.
Okay, that makes sense. So when in doubt, call a lawyer.
Yeah.
Basically. That's usually what we do.
Or your accountant.
Yeah.
Or your accountants. There's
Right.
usually, I usually from our team, I usually call Kelsey. I'm like, is this right? I don't know. Okay, so let's skip down. I want to get to marketing at the end because that's the most fun. I'm biased, but I want to talk a little bit about some numbers in general. So what is the magic number to budget for gift card sales? Obviously, if you're a smaller restaurant, it's a little different, but Lynn, from your perspective, what do you typically advise the company to budget in terms of how much money they'll be bringing in for gift card sales?
Probably somewhere in the range of 5 to 10% of your total sales
Okay.
that come from gift cards. That's a good kind of starting goal that I've always used.
Okay. Okay. And Hopie and Scott, whenever you guys talk to customers, is it the same? Is that about what you anticipate?
Yeah, anywhere between, wouldn't say five, starting at 5 to up to 15% usually is what we'd say.
Okay. Okay. And then,
When your
yeah, go ahead.
program is developed, that will become a higher percentage. When you first start out, it's people don't know you as well. They don't know your brand, but as the brand gets to be better known, and whether an individual marketplace or multiple marketplaces, then that's going to grow as a percentage of your sales.
Sure. But that also takes some investment as well. And we'll talk a little bit about that in a second, like how those kind of work. But remind us and remind the people on the webinar, how much typically gets redeemed whenever an average year, like how much of that really comes in?
I still think we're back to that number where we're saying 90 to 95% of that is going to come in.
Okay, great. And then, okay, so one thing I did want to talk about, and then we'll jump into sort of marketing and sales is, and this was sort of one of the moral quandary questions that I asked you guys last time we were on the phone, is obviously some restaurants are not doing well. They're in trouble. We hope that we will see a relief bill passed by the Congress soon, fingers crossed. I know we're all filling out those emails to our congressmen and women to get them to act. But there is a chance that some restaurants know that where they sit today, they may not be around 3-6 months from now. Is it morally okay for them to sell gift cards right now, knowing that they may not be around? This is a question, I know, Lynn, you're giving me that face, that like, this is a question that doesn't really have a good answer. But Hopie, since you weren't on the call before, you get to take it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a tough one to answer. That's a really tough one to answer. I would say yes. I would say it's very necessary. And I will go back to that virtual gift example I gave earlier. As long as a merchant has that ability for customers to go online and purchase that virtual gift card, the funds are there, and they can use it for that reason. Hey, customers, our valued customers, please purchase a gift card. So this is going to keep us afloat during these hard times. So if we have this many people purchase a virtual gift card in this many months, we should be good to go. So if they have that type of messaging and they have loyal customers, I would say yes. But again, that's a tough one to answer. Depends on the business.
It is a tough one. Lynn, I know we talked for a while about this one last time we were on the call. Did you have any additional thoughts you wanted to share on that one?
It is a tough one. I would say just be, I think it's still okay to sell gift cards, but, and I think we talked about this in that you don't want to start giving them away, selling them at 50% off, because that's not going to really help anyone. And you're just going to sell a lot of gift cards that people may not be able to redeem. So my suggestion would be, sell them as close to full price or as full price as possible. Have some idea of how many dollars you're selling so that you're, as Hopie said, so that you're looking at, is it 6 months worth, not trying to, in 30 days, sell the next 2 years worth of gift cards. So
Right.
I think you want to continue to sell gift cards, but just maybe be a little bit more calculated as far as how much you promoted it and you pushed it based on kind of your current circumstance.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough to bring that question
And
up.
we've had I was just gonna say, we've had several of our clients who just had basic gift card programs signed up for virtual gift for that example that I gave you. And this is, I want to say, right when COVID started, back in, I want to say, March, April. So a lot of those existing clients who turned on their virtual gift card program and promoted that to their existing customers to let them know, hey, we may close down unless if we sell a good amount of gift cards. And a lot of those businesses are still around strictly because of their gift card program.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about how to get those gift cards sold, right? I think this is something that Lynn has some great experience in. So I'd love for him to talk us through some of the marketing examples that he sent over before. So Lynn, you want to talk us through?
Yeah. So throughout the year, we try to take advantage of any gift giving opportunities, time periods when people are looking for gifts. So what you see here is, we did a treat friends and family wherever they are, because we started to see during COVID that, mom and dad are sending a gift card, from the East Coast to the West Coast because, they can't see them, but they still want their family to be able to, dine out or get takeout. So we kind of did that messaging to kind of promote what was relevant during that time period. Grandparents' Day, I talked about customized gift cards, right? Who doesn't want their grandparents and great picture of the grandparents and the grandchild on the card. So we.
Oh, wait, so that's actually like someone uploaded the photo and that's their own. I thought it was like a generic one. I didn't realize that. That's really cool.
That is actually something that we market as a custom gift card. You can do it with one gift card. And our third party makes that available to us. And then you get into kind of the holiday time frame where we talked about your gift card with your promotional card. And again, we're very clear there that it's a gift card and it's a reward card that has some restrictions on it. But we usually plan out, 3 to 6 months out, kind of 1 year plan as well. But kind of as we kind of see what the marketplace does, obviously, especially during these past, 6 to 12 months, we've kind of, shifted things to be relevant to, what our guests are experiencing and what they can relate to.
So Hopie and Scott, as you guys talk to restaurant customers that are out there now, how are you helping them position themselves to talk about gift cards during the holidays and after the new year? Do you have some ideas you might be able to share?
I'll just say that to be honest, I don't like the word gift card. I like the terminology electronic marketing card, because when you call it a gift card, you almost put it into a box, a gift box, for example, where a program like this is really derived and should be driven to push people into your business throughout the year and not just Christmas or Valentine's Day. But yeah, so we talked to them about, how can we bring more people through your doors through this program? So that's what we talk about when we're talking to customers.
Hopie, anything to add in there?
Yeah, just asking the simple questions of like, hey, how are you currently promoting your business without breaking the bank? What type of conversations are you having with your customers when they come in? Just having them, I'm a pretty bold person. When I'm talking to my customers, I'm always just like, hey, this is what you need to do. They ask me the question, talk to your customers, ask them what they're getting for their family for Christmas. Suggest a gift card. Like sometimes it takes having those conversations is just being open with your customers. So I'd say just kind of adding off of what Scott just said, it's just kind of being bold and being able to communicate with your customers.
Yeah, no, that's really helpful. And I appreciate your terminology there, Scott, on the electronic marketing card, but I guarantee you that's not what people are calling them whenever we gift them to them. They see it as a gift card. I understand as that wonky response, like it absolutely is, I mean, I have my pile of electronic marketing cards next to me. And it reminds me that I need to go and, spend the gift card dollars and then some, of course, at these restaurants and local retailers. But in terms of gift card, I think people do recognize that terminology and they want to be able to give. Although it is interesting, I sent this article to you guys earlier today because I caught it in Restaurant Business that gift card sales are actually down right now. And that's really unfortunate. Of course, we want people to be able to go out and purchase gift cards from local restaurants specifically and give them to their family this holiday season. So Lynn, you have a promo here about, getting a free reward card too. So is that something that can encourage more gift card purchasing from consumers as well? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. And our sales are doing quite well. Fortunately, a little better than that article that you provided us. So I think it's because we're, constantly messaging it. We're out there talking about gift cards, all the different ways that you can get them. And just to tag on a little bit to what Scott said, something I've heard it's a little bit more of an internal concept, but kind of in our gift card world that I live in, branded currency has been something that's been talked about a lot as far as relative to gift cards, because when you think of it, you are getting, out there, we call a little billboard, right? That people have to come back to your restaurant to redeem. So I kind of like that terminology. And we've been, like I said, promoting the free reward cards. We started earlier this year. So we would always start November. This year we started hearing that, not only in the restaurant world, but throughout retail, that people are going to stretch out their shopping. So this year we started our promotions in October instead of November, and that really did help us. And it's continuing. It's continuing right on through. So we're seeing good results. And the nice thing about this reward card promotion is you're getting a sale now, and then you're bringing people back after the first of the year. So you're getting, at least 2 visits out of that purchase. So, and we're all looking for sales beginning, starting in January. So it kind of brings back people for trial. And the other thing is we kind of message it as kind of a give and get. So in our case, the physical card gets sent to the recipient or to the person buying it, but the reward card is always going to get sent to the person who bought that card. So now, I may give you a gift card, and guess what? I'm also going to come in because I've got a reward card. So now I've got 2 families coming in with the same promotion.
Is it rude to give? Is it rude to keep the gift card for yourself and give away the reward card? That's sort of like a Miss Manners thing. Is it I think it's still giving people the same reward, right? Or something a little bit different, but I don't know.
I don't promote gifting the reward card, but
that's what I'm saying. It's
and the person really who receives it still gets whatever they thought they were getting, right? And the person who bought the card gets something as well. So
Hmm. I
absolutely.
definitely have one relative in my family who likes to give me the reward cards. So instead of the gift card, which, I guess it's the thought that counts, but maybe not. Um, so typically whenever people come in to redeem gift cards or reward cards, how much more do they tend to spend whenever they come into the store? Do they just spend right at that $40 gift card level, or do they go above that? What does that typically look like for you, Lynn, and then Scott?
We're seeing anywhere from 30 to 60% that they spend above the value of the gift card. Obviously, it depends on what denomination of gift card that they purchase. On a smaller gift card, you're gonna, small denomination gift card, you're gonna get a higher lift, again, depending on what your, average ticket is. But it definitely is higher than the value of the gift card. Hardly anybody just spends the gift card amount. That's probably any of us can attest to when we go out with a gift card, because it kind of feels like some found money. But it's in that range of like 30 to 70%.
That's great. Scott, does that track with what you guys have seen too?
Yeah, and I'm just going to use national averages again. The national average is 46%. So it falls right in line with Landry's and what Len is saying, 30 to 70. So if they got $100 gift card,
Yep.
you can expect that they'll spend $146 in your location.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay, so I have a great question from someone on the Q&A window here on maximizing your gift card sales at offsite retailers, like the malls that we were talking about, Lynn, grocery stores, Lowe's. They have these great big, gift card centers, basically. To me, they always sort of seem like the airport gift shop of gift giving, where you're just running in real quick and you think of someone that you maybe didn't get a gift for and you just buy it there. How does that work? How do people get their cards in there? And then what is the expense on that?
So that third-party gift card mall is a substantial piece of the business, but you have to be very careful with it. It's probably one of the most expensive distribution channels, mainly because you're going to pay a commission to the third party that manages those programs, and in most cases, there's two or three that are Income and Blackhawk have probably 90% of that business. But you're going to pay a commission to have your card placed in that third party. And they tend to go through a lot of physical cards. So your card cost is fairly substantial. So I'm always making sure that my sales are in line with what my costs for cards are, because they're a major user of plastic. And you're going to, because if you're in a particular grocer, let's say, you need to have so many on every pay, right? At least a minimum amount. And they typically have lots of doors that you're going to be in. So if you start multiplying it, you have to be very careful how many cards you are going to be asked to produce. So we're very careful with that. And we don't go in every channel. Some channels are not a fit for us. I'll give you just one example. Convenience stores. There's, literally thousands of those, and we just don't participate there because it's not our guest and it's not where people spend time to look for our type of gift. And they can be very expensive because you've got a lot of locations with a lot of cards. So my advice is be selective where you go. Be careful your investment in cards, and make sure that it's a good fit for your brand. You want to be I don't want you don't want to be in a low end retailer or mall if you're a higher end restaurant. It's just not a great fit. So we kind of look at all of those pieces.
That's fair. It seems really expensive to me now that you've run down sort of all the costs and thinking about the thousands of plastic cards that probably run through those retail outlets. That is really expensive, especially for some local restaurants. That might be too much for them, to deal with.
They tend to do a lot around the holidays, Anna, because
Sure.
as you mentioned, they're kind of a convenience item. Oh, I forgot to get a gift for somebody. I'm not in the restaurant. and I'm going to shop maybe from 3 or 4 choices.
Yeah.
And so you want to, you don't want to not be in all of them, but again, just the best fits.
Sure. Sure, that makes sense. So one thing I did want to share with everyone while I have you as a captive audience is we've actually partnered with the Office of the Governor Economic Development and Tourism Office to list a bunch of restaurant gift cards available on our website. So I'm sharing the site with you here, and then I also have it in the chat window. I think I hit go. Nope, here we go. So you guys can go look at that page too. It's just tons of restaurant gift cards. A lot of these, frankly, are local independent restaurants. Sometimes it's hard to remember like what's in the area that I might want to buy a gift for someone. No offense to Landry's at all. Definitely want to support them, but also support your local independents too. So if you're looking to purchase a gift card for the holidays, I'd recommend going to this page and looking through and seeing some great independent options. If you are a restaurant operator that wants to get, I see your question, Rachel, added to that list, I think it's down at the bottom. No. You know what? I'm just going to give you the email of the person on my team that is handling this project. Alexandra White. Email her and she will get you added. So all we need is your location, the name of your restaurant, and the link to go and buy the gift card. That's the most important part, really. Oh, thank you, Shane. I didn't read it. Oh, it says it right there. Okay. Clearly I'm reading too quickly, but it's in there. So you can go and submit your restaurant gift card information here. In fact, here's the form. I'm going to paste that link right there. And then we'll get that added as quickly as possible too, because we definitely want to support some of the great local independent restaurants around the state. And I would recommend all 3 of you go and do that as well. Okay, so one other question that I wanted to bring up that came up in the chat earlier today is on how to handle fraud when it comes to gift cards. So what are some examples perhaps that we've seen of gift card fraud, and how do you guys deal with it? Scott or Hopie, do you get, oh, Hopie just disappeared. He didn't want to talk about it at all. Scott, do you want to talk a little bit about gift card fraud and how to avoid it?
I think that's one of the reasons that electronic gift cards came into play, is because most people had paper certificates, and it was to avoid that fraud. I guess I'd need more question on when they're talking fraud. Is it like duplicating a card, or
Tina, yeah, I turned it back on. Tina, if you want to add a little more color to your question, feel free to do so, and we can expand on that. But in the meantime, Lynn, do you have some thoughts on gift card fraud, and what have you experienced to avoid that?
Yeah, one of the things, kind of one of the basics is we always try to educate our restaurants to make sure that they check the balance on the gift card. It sounds very basic, but you will have, guests come in, and if they are determined fraudsters, they may say, hey, this gift card has $100 on it, and it might be just a piece of plastic that's never been activated. So, I mean, that's the simplest form. And so we always say, if you can't if you can't verify the balance online, don't accept the card. And then we kind of can help out from the office here, because we can look up history and that kind of thing. So we ask that they send the guests to us to help them resolve whatever that issue is.
Sure. Well, I mean, you mentioned earlier sort of the gift card malls, and especially, in convenience stores and things like that. It's so easy for people to pick up the card. Obviously, there's no money loaded onto it until you check out. But it'd be very easy for someone to just present a blank card that's never been activated and say, no, it definitely has $100 on it, or 200, and then you get into that conflict, right, with whomever is with you. And it may not even be someone who stole the card. It could be they were given it as a gift and they were told that there were $200 on it. That's definitely awkward. I mean, how would you recommend a restaurateur handle something like that?
Everybody's in a little different situation in terms of what resources they have, but mainly if you can just get back to asking questions about where it was purchased. Do you have a receipt? We never try to get confrontational about it. But you're trying to help them, because in some cases it is, as you mentioned, it may be somebody that thought they gave them a card that had value on it and they picked the wrong one out of their drawer when they were giving it. We get that all the time. So we just, try to help to just get to wherever you can check the history and balance on that card. And that typically will help the guest as well. In a lot of cases, once you point it out, they may say, oh yeah, that's right, there was 2 I bought that day or something like that.
Sure. Sure. That's great. Or someone in their family gifted them the reward card that does expire. So
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, I don't see any other questions coming in. I'll give you guys a couple more seconds. If you want to ask a question in the chat window or the Q&A window, feel free to do so. I'm just going to look over my notes here really quickly. I think everything you guys have shared with our audience has been really, really helpful. I really appreciate your time and oh, hey, Hopie, you're back. Nice to see you. This has been very,
sorry about.
no worries. This has been very educational for me, certainly. I know for a lot of the people that stuck with us on the webinar as well, and for the folks that joined us on Facebook, I can see them that they're all watching now too. So thank you guys so much. We will post this recording and make it available. And all of these gentlemen have been very responsive to email questions. So I hope you guys know that I'm going to be giving out your contact information in case these lovely people have questions. I really appreciate it. Y'all have a wonderful holiday. And thanks again for your time today.
My pleasure.
Thank you, Anna.
Thanks, y'all.
Thanks,
Bye.
Anna.